all about one story as well, aren't they, Dipti, or rather one man?
That man is Neymar, of course, Stuart. The Brazilian forward is leaving Barcelona to come to PSG this season for a record-shattering transfer fee of 222 million euros. And the excitement is palpable in some of the French papers, at least for the French sports paper L'Équipe on its front page. Il arrive, just 2 words on its front page. Neymar is coming, that's what the paper says. He's due to arrive this Thursday and expected to sign his contract tomorrow. That's what L'Équipe says. This time, here he is, L'Équipe says in an article that seems to really reflect relief more than anything. Relief that the suspense is now over. Neymar is, or if he does arrive, he's arriving just a day before the French Ligue 1 begins. The paper also explains that PSG's Qatar owners will also have to pay, of course, Neymar's annual salary, estimated at 60 to 70 million euros, in addition to that transfer fee. In total, he's going to cost the club about 1/5 of its budget.
Wow. Le Parisien is also talking about Neymar and this just colossal transfer fee.
They call it the transfer of the century. The paper evokes what it calls a Messi in Paris, in reference to Neymar's now former teammate Lionel Messi. And there's actually no bad blood between the two. Messi congratulated Neymar on social media yesterday, wishing him good luck for this new stage of his life. Now, that sum, as we mentioned, is of course colossal. And for many of us, we might have some trouble grasping just how much 220 million euros can buy you. Le Parisien is sort of breaking it down in layman's terms for us. 222 million euros is about the cost, of 3 Rafale airplanes. If you live in, if you live in Paris, it's a cost of about 25,000 square meters of real estate. Can you imagine that? If you're a fan of Céline Dion, you could see her in concert over 3 million times. Finally, the most layman of laymen, it's the equivalent of 55 million Big Macs.
Wow. Can you imagine eating that lot and seeing that many concerts? Le Parisien is also looking at the persona behind Neymar, the football star. Who
exactly is Neymar, and why on earth would PSG break the bank for him to come and play in Paris? That's what Le Parisien is reporting or asking in this article. They say Neymar was really born to be a star. They call him a diamond polished in Brazil in a poor suburb of Santos. The 25-year-old joined Barcelona for a fee of 88 million euros back in 2013, and with Lionel Messi and Suarez, they formed what they call a dynamic trident. The one thing that's escaped him, and the one thing that all his money cannot buy, is a Ballon d'Or. He's definitely hoping to get that during his time at PSG.
Well, PSG, of course, might be rubbing their hands with glee at Neymar's arrival, but the president of the Spanish Football League has given a pretty aggressive interview to L'Équipe. Tell us more.
Well, Javier Tebas, who is the president of the Spanish league, tells L'Équipe that they're preparing to fight back against Neymar's transfer. He accuses PSG, which of course is owned by wealthy Qataris, of presenting fake economic figures to inflated economic figures to back the transfer. Much of the criticism over the transfer fee is that it violates fair competition rules of football in Europe. La Liga is now planning to file a complaint with the European competition watchdog as well as UEFA. But perhaps more upset than him are the Barcelona fans who feel betrayed by Neymar's decision. L'Équipe says they've been putting up posters all around Barcelona, a wanted notice for a traitor, they say. We only want people who are loyal, they say on these posters.
Not all the French papers are feeling quite so positive either, are they?
No, La Croix, for instance, calls it the rules of the game. They say we could say it's the price you pay to enter in the big league, so to speak, that the laws of offer and demand also apply to football. But for La Croix, these arguments are not sufficient to dissipate the quote, uneasiness in front of such enormous sums of money. Now, Libération, the left-leaning paper, on its front page says cash. It's a play on words of cash, of course, but also cache in French means hide and seek. Libé says PSG's transfer deal has pushed all the limits of emotions, sports, geopolitics, and of course money.
Let's end with something completely different, not football at all. This is a survey very important survey of the sexiest accents in the world.
That's right. It's a survey conducted by a language learning website called Babbel. It turns out that for most people in the world, French is still the sexiest language in the world.
Hurrah, go all the people in the building, or most of the people in the building.
Our French colleagues, at least.
Exactly, yeah.
Babbel explains that the charm of the French accent is linked in part to its culture. So when a foreigner hears French, they think of Catherine Deneuve, gastronomy, and world-famous monuments. Another expert says French is really melodious to the ear, which is why it's so sexy to listen to. One of the reasons that it's a turn-on, really. For French people, the sexiest accent is Italian. It's also a melodic language, followed by the language of Shakespeare, English, and then Spanish. And coming in fourth, rather strangely, is Turkish. And rounding up the top 5 is German, which is not always considered the pinnacle of sexy languages.
No, not sure about that. I want to know how the producer's feeling in the gallery, because we actually have an Italian producer today. So I'm just wondering if all those French ladies in the gallery are
He
French
definitely
like
has a
Italian.
sexy accent.
Definitely. Well done, Michele.